Today's lesson is Yuletide rituals around the world. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
And I'm Helen.
And today is the 21st of December, so that means Christmas is just 4 days away. You still have time to make some preparations to celebrate Christmas. And if you're not so excited about Christmas, maybe you'll be more excited when you listen to today's lesson, because we're going to talk about Yuletide rituals around the world. There are many different ways to celebrate Christmas or the holidays around the world, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
That's right. We're talking about how people around the world celebrate Christmas, because the way to celebrate Christmas that most of us are familiar with is the American way, or the North American way, with the Christmas tree and Santa Claus and Christmas ornaments and all of that. However, many countries that celebrate Christmas actually have their own traditions and their own ways of celebrating. So today we're going to look at some of these traditions, which are also referred to as Yuletide rituals in the title. Now here, ritual refers to a formal ceremony, so you can also talk about funeral rituals, wedding rituals. Those are the things that you do at those ceremonies, at those formal events. So you have Christmas rituals as well. And Yuletide is an old word that refers to the period of time around Christmas. So you have Yuletide songs, which are Christmas songs. And the word is basically made up of two other words. Yule is an old word that means Christmas. And tide, you may know tide as the word that refers to the rising and falling of sea levels, but it's also used to mean the way that things develop, or the way that events happen in a period of time. So you can talk about the tides of opinion, for instance, if opinions change over time.
So we're talking about Christmas or Yuletide rituals around the world. Let's introduce things now with the first paragraph.
Yuletide rituals around the world. December is here, and that means Christmas, the merriest time of the year for countless people around the world. But while huge sections of the globe celebrate the same holiday, there are as many different traditions surrounding it as there are cultures. Here are just a few international Christmas traditions you may not have heard of.
大家好，在标题中我们可以看到单字 ritual， 这个字是名词，指的是宗教仪式、习惯或是例行公事。例如 Many powerful politicians in that country have engaged in dark, mysterious rituals. 那个国家的许多权势政治人物会进行黑暗神秘的宗教仪式。或者 Burning ghost money is a common ritual in Taiwan. 烧金纸是台湾常见的习俗。
So December is here, and that means Christmas, the merriest time of the year for countless people around the world. Indeed, when we talk about Christmas and the feeling associated with it, we often use the word merry, which means happy. However, we don't say Happy Christmas, we say Merry Christmas. And we don't say the happiest time of year, we say the merriest time of the year when we talk about Christmas.
At least in America, I have heard people in England say Happy Christmas, and it sounds very natural to them, but it does not sound natural to Americans. As Helen said, we usually say Merry Christmas. It's the merriest time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And indeed, lots of people look forward to Christmas, and it's a special time. It's a happy time. It's a merry time for countless people around the world. But while huge sections of the globe celebrate the same holiday, there are as many different traditions surrounding it as there are cultures. So yes, indeed, lots of people all over the world celebrate Christmas, especially in North America and South America. Central America and Europe, etc., etc. Primarily Christian countries celebrate Christmas, but they celebrate it differently in different parts of the Christian world.
Yes, and today we're going to look at a few countries and how Christmas is celebrated there. And some of these Christmas traditions may be so rare that you have never heard of it. So if you haven't heard of something, it means that you're not aware of it. No one has ever told you about it. You have never read or come across it.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to go to Germany and find out how they celebrate Christmas there. So let's listen.
Germany. In many countries, children receive presents from Santa Claus, but in Germany they are visited by a kindly old man called Saint Nick. Each December 6th, Nicholas and his trusty donkey leave small surprises, including coins, chocolate, and toys in the shoes of good boys and girls in the middle of the night. Those who haven't behaved should watch their step, though, because farmhand Rupert often tags along to punish the bad children.
第二部分我们看到名词 saint， 它的意思是圣徒、圣人或是道德高尚的人。举例来说 ，Many churches are decorated with images of Jesus and his saints。许多教堂以耶稣和他圣徒的图像为装饰。又或者说 The person who returned my lost wallet with all of the money in it is a saint. 那位把我遗失钱包连同里面所有的钱一起归还的人是道德高尚的人。接着我们看到单字 trusty， 这个字是形容词，指的是可信赖的或是可靠的。例如 Alan always carries his trusty Swiss Army knife when he goes camping. Alan 去露营时总是带着他可靠的瑞士军刀。或是He is a trusty person who never tells others secrets. 他是一个值得信赖的人，他从不说他人的秘密。另外补充这个字的同义字 trustworthy, Trustworthy, trustworthy. 举例来说 Tracy left her house key with a trustworthy friend. Tracy 把她家的钥匙寄放在一个信得过的朋友那里。或者我们可以说 I need a trustworthy person to take care of my dogs. 我需要一个值得信赖的人来照顾我的狗。
So now we're going to look at how Christmas is celebrated in Germany. In many countries, children receive presents from Santa Claus, but in Germany, they are visited by a kindly old man called Saint Nick. So indeed, in America, we talk about Santa Claus. We say Santa Claus is coming, and he will be bringing gifts to good children, perhaps not to naughty ones. But in Germany, Santa Claus does not come with gifts. Instead, it's Saint Nick. Now, saint is a word that refers to a person who has lived a very good life and has done a lot of good things for humanity, and therefore the Christian church honors this person after their death by turning them into a saint. So, for instance, Mother Teresa became a saint in 2016 because when she was alive, she had spent her entire life doing good things by helping the sick and the poor in India, and therefore she became a saint after she died.
Indeed. So in Germany, we have Saint Nick, which I believe is short for Saint Nicholas. And each December 6th, which is already passed, Nicholas and his trusty donkey leave small surprises, including coins, chocolate, and toys, in the shoes of good boys and girls in the middle of the night. So, yes, you've got St. Nicholas, and instead of riding in a sleigh pulled by a reindeer, he actually rides around on a donkey, but his donkey is trustworthy. We're calling the donkey trusty. If something's trusty, it's reliable. If you're a navigator, you might rely on your trusty compass to find your way from one point to another. And in this particular case, his donkey is reliable, so St. Nicholas rides around on the donkey, and then he stops by houses and leaves small surprises in the shoes of good boys and girls. And some of those surprises would include coins, which is, of course, metal money, chocolate, which is something you can eat, and, of course, toys, which are things that children can play with.
Yes, and only good boys and girls receive these surprises. Those who haven't behaved should watch their step, though, because farmhand Rupert often tags along to punish the bad children. So children who have not behaved, the naughty ones, should watch their step. To watch your step means to be careful, to watch where you're going, to watch how you behave, because farmhand Rupert often tags along to punish bad children. A farmhand is somebody who works outside on a farm, not really the farmer himself, because when we think of farmer, we think of the person who owns the farm, whereas a farmhand is hired by the farmer to do labor on the farm. And there is a particular farmhand called Rupert who punishes the bad children, and he tags along when Saint Nick makes the round around the houses in Germany.
Right, so this person you need to watch out for, or you need to watch your step. We use this phrase sometimes when we warn people that there's danger around and you might get in trouble. Hey, lots of people have been fired recently, so you better watch your step or you might be next. So in this particular case, bad kids or kids in general should watch their step because Rupert, the farmhand, is tagging along. He's coming along with St. Nicholas on the donkey, and he's ready to find those bad children and punish them in whichever way he sees fit. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson. Let's go south of Germany to Austria and find out how they celebrate Christmas there.
Austria raises the stakes for naughty kids with Krampus, a scarier version of Rupert that resembles a demon. The monster is believed to catch children who have been especially troublesome, stealing them away in his sack. You could be forgiven for thinking that you'd come across Halloween celebrations in December as young adults dress up as Krampus and run around frightening people.
第三部分我们看到单字 version， 这个字是名词，意思是版本或是变化形式。例如 Your version of bread pudding is better than my mother's. 你做的面包布丁比我妈妈做的那种好。或是 Sam's version of the story of their breakup is nothing like Amy's. Sam 说的分手缘由和 Amy 的版本大相径庭。最后我们看到形容词 troublesome， 指的是令人烦恼、头疼的或是麻烦的。例如 Don't you find it troublesome to take care of 3 dogs? 你不觉得照顾3只狗很麻烦吗？或者我们可以说 Patricia did her best to rid her garden of troublesome weeds. Patricia 尽全力清除花园里烦人的杂草。另外去掉这个字的字尾 S-O-M-E 就变成名词 trouble， 意思是麻烦或是困难。像是 Painting the whole house again is too much trouble. 把整间房子重新粉刷一遍太麻烦了。又或者是 Making coffee is less trouble than you think. 煮咖啡没有你想的那么麻烦。
Now, Austria raises the stakes for naughty kids with Krampus, a scarier version of Rupert that resembles a demon. So, when we compare Austria and Germany in terms of Christmas celebrations, Austria raises the stakes. Now, to raise the stakes means to risk more. Stakes are the things that you can gain or lose by taking a risk. So when you raise the stakes, you are risking more. In Austria, you have Krampus, which is a scarier version of farmhand Rupert, and therefore naughty kids are at greater risk of what this really awful creature Krampus can do to them.
Right, and as Helen said, to raise the stakes means to increase the risk of something. This is often used in gambling. We certainly hope that you don't gamble yourselves, but some people do these sorts of things. And if you raise the stakes in a particular game of cards, for example, you're betting more money so that you can win more money if you actually win. But of course, if you lose, you'll lose more money. But here, Austria just makes things more dangerous for naughty kids, and they have Krampus, which is a scarier version of farmhand Rupert. And a version of something is just the same sort of thing, but in a different form. For example, you may have read a novel, and then you're waiting to see the movie version of the novel to see if it's better than the book or worse than the book, etc. And this is a similar tradition in Austria to farmhand Rupert, but in this particular case, this creature resembles a demon, which is an evil creature with horns on its head and a trident, and it comes from hell.
Yes, and when you resemble a demon, it means you look like a demon or you have qualities of a demon. That's to resemble something or somebody.
Now, the monster is believed to catch children who have been especially troublesome, stealing them away in his sack. Okay, so people believe that this particular creature, this demon-like creature, will catch children if they have been especially troublesome. And troublesome here just means naughty. The kids aren't behaving themselves, maybe in a really bad way. Maybe they're starting to steal and lie and stuff like that. So the parents warn them, hey, you better watch out because this creature, this demon creature is going to come and catch you, and they will take you away in his sack. We don't know exactly where the kids are going, but it's probably not a good place. It's probably a place of fire and smoke and pain and suffering, which is how people describe hell.
Yes, and because of this, you could be forgiven for thinking that you'd come across Halloween celebrations in December as young adults dress up as Krampus and run around frightening people. So if you were in Austria and you saw these young people dressed as a demon and you heard about this tradition of Krampus coming to get troublesome youths, then you would be forgiven if you thought that you were actually celebrating Halloween, or the country was celebrating Halloween instead of Christmas, because it has all of the characteristics or features of Halloween, demons and scary thoughts and bad behavior. So it's quite close to Halloween.
Interesting how the Germans would dress up as Krampus, and they would dress up like this demon-like creature and try to scare people. That does not happen in the United States. We only dress up that way during Halloween. Here in Taiwan, of course, Christmas is celebrated, but not really too much. I mean, you see people wearing those Santa Claus hats sometimes when they work at coffee shops or restaurants or whatever, and you hear Christmas music in some places, but that's about all they do here to celebrate Christmas. How did you celebrate Christmas when you were a kid, Helen?
Well, I celebrated Christmas in the usual way with the Christmas tree, and since we are Christians, we did take this holiday as a religious holiday, so we went to church. But I think nowadays a lot of people just see it as a day to relax or go out to dinner or to party, which is very far from the original meaning of Christmas.
Okay, and of course, remember, we're talking about the tradition in Austria of Krampus, who again is scarier than farmhand Rupert, which is the tradition up in Germany. So it might be better to actually be a German kid than an Austrian kid, because if you're in Austria and you're troublesome, if you're naughty, if you're badly behaved, then this demon creature by the name of Krampus might come and take you away in his sack. But again, this is just a tradition there. It doesn't really happen, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And I'm not quite sure if they leave candy in the shoes of children in Austria or not. But as you know, Austria and Germany are similar in that they're both German-speaking countries. So maybe some of their traditions are similar, whereas in other places they might be quite different. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. It's time now to turn things over to Teacher Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分的最后一句有提到 Those who haven't behaved should watch their step。 那些不守规矩的孩子可要小心了。句子里面的 watch one's step 字面意思是留意脚步，那可以用来表达注意自己的行为，行为要小心谨慎的意思。好，那我们这边要介绍的句型是 those who 加动词，这是表达凡是点点点的人，那些怎么样的人。其中的 those 就是指 those people， 那些人。当我们只说那些人，就会不知道说你在指哪些人，对不对？所以我们后面就要接 who 引导关系子句来修饰这个先行词 those， 去表达说那些怎么样的人，凡是怎么样的人。特别注意这个关系子句里面动词是要用复数形，所以如果我们说 those who are interested in adopting animals， 就是那些想要领养动物的人。Those who haven't seen the movie 就是还没看过那部电影的人等等。我们来造个例句 They have an alternative menu for those who don't eat meat。 他们有一份替代菜单是给不吃肉的人看的。好，那补充一下 Those who 加动词其实也可以简化成 those 加分词 VING 或 PP。也就是说呢，我们把关系代名词 who 省略，然后把后方的动词改成分词。这个动词如果是主动，就改成现在分词 VING， 被动就改成过去分词 PP。例如 The website provides useful information for those thinking about studying abroad。 这个网站提供了实用资讯给那些正在考虑出国念书的人。其中这个 those thinking about studying abroad 就是 those who are thinking about studying abroad 简化而来，我们把 those who are thinking 变成 those thinking。 好，接着读到课文第三部分的第二句，他说 The monster is believed to catch children who have been especially troublesome。 人们相信这个怪物会抓特别令人头痛的小孩。那这边我们来整理表达一般认为一般相信的句型。第一个句型我们可以用 people think 或是 people believe 加上 that 子句。第二个句型可以用 it is thought 或是 believed 再加 that 子句。好，那么也可以把刚刚我们说那个 that 子句里面的主词拉出来当做整句的主词，变成主词 be thought to 或是 be believed to 再加原形动词。那以上这三个句型呢，都可以表达一般相信怎么样，某人或某事物被认为是怎么样怎么样。举例来说 People think that he is one of the greatest scientists ever。 也可以说 It is thought that he is one of the greatest scientists ever。 或者是你还可以讲 He is thought to be one of the greatest scientists ever。 一般认为他是有史以来最伟大的科学家之一。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Ritual. The brothers had a Saturday morning ritual of eating cereal while watching cartoons. Saint. The church declared the priest a saint because of the help he gave to the poor. Version.
The version of the video game sold in Europe was different from that sold in the US.
Resemble. The two friends resembled each other so closely that some people thought they were sisters. Troublesome. The bathroom sink had a troublesome leak that kept Marvin awake at night.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoyed reading along with us. I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.